Hello and welcome to Stream Theory. My name is Ezilii, full-time content creator and Twitch partner.
And I'm Carize. I am a part-time streamer affiliate on Twitch and also co-founder of Girl Streamers. Today, or not today, oh no!
What is today?
What is today? Today is going to be a topic that we're going to be covering, which is interesting. But also the point of stream theory, guys, is a conversation to discover the better practices of streaming, stuff that we've noticed and little tidbits we've picked up along the way.
And those tidbits today bring us to talking about filler words, ums, likes, and so whats.
So what's? Oh, that's an interesting one. I didn't know the so what's. We'll have to talk about that.
So what? It's not really a filler word. It's more like etc., which is also a filler word.
Etc. Mm-hmm. And yada yadas.
Yep, all
And
that
yadas.
gibberish. Let's get started.
I think the biggest culprit, and something that obviously you and I notice a lot, is the like, and how often in one paragraph or one sentence when somebody's talking, like gets used. Like this, like that, and like, and then all of a sudden the whole conversation to me just turns into that like, and I don't quite get the point of what's going on.
Lately,
Yeah.
I have been and so.
And so is not bad. I don't think and so is a bad one. I think that's a good segue.
If you start every sentence, so I was doing this today. Why not? I did this today.
Because then I think it lacks a little bit of emotion if you just go directly into and be really direct with your sentences and the way that you're delivering stuff. I think it's too direct. It needs a little bit of softness, like an and so. Also, in addition to, on that point. Do you know what I mean? Like those, I think those are more segue words as opposed to using like at the beginning or the ending of every sentence or comment that you're making.
So let's define what a filler word actually is, shall we? We're going to
Sure.
switch over to a little quick screen for our definition here. So a filler word is actually something that we use in place of pausing, right? So that is a filler word because I just used so instead of just being quiet, right? That's what I'm talking about.
Right. So okay. So regardless, there's going to be filler words. We could use anything as a filler word. Awesome is one of my biggest go-tos, which I need to, or I work on not using as much. A huge filler word, just
but
because you
now
don't want
we're
it to be
so
silent.
self-conscious of this right now. We're gonna say
Yes, I know.
the whole podcast. So the whole idea behind it is that acknowledging that filler words exist.
Exactly.
There's actually a point to them, to an extent.
Yes.
I will argue that in the natural order and the natural speaking and flow of conversation, if you are creating content on YouTube, you're talking to yourself.
Absolutely.
And you're not talking to chat versus live stream. Obviously, you're talking to chat no matter what platform you're on. But the point is that when you're thinking and you're thinking out loud because you have conditioned yourself to think out loud.
Right.
Because you're recording your content for YouTube, you're going to start to fill every little gap with the filler word.
Silence. Right.
I argue take that gap and post.
That and then post. Okay. So do you agree that there are some filler words that aren't negative to your content, but
well, I mean, but is a word in a sentence.
Right. Though.
Right, it's the ums, likes.
The ums and the likes, but it's still okay. And ahs, which I use a lot as well. But I still think there's certain filler words that stick out and do they do ruin the content to me. Like is a huge one.
Well, yes. I personally cannot stand like.
I can't.
And sometimes I will say like a lot.
Very rarely. I don't think I can remember hearing that, but
Usually it's when I'm recording.
okay. And then you start over again.
Yeah, so I will I won't stop recording. What I'll do is I'll restart my sentence
Right.
and cut out the like,
Right.
which I am envious of content creators on YouTube that can just repeatedly go through their recording and do it in one take without post edit.
That happens? Is that
I
that
know a
YouTube
few.
unicorn?
I I know a few. If you watch their video, you could tell that it's for the most part all one
All
smooth take.
one take. That's got it must be experience over time.
Experience.
Just
It's
yeah.
experience, but
I would
they've
love to see their
also.
first video ever.
I think they took it down.
Oh, I'm sure.
But I said but fill a word,
Hmm.
get a buzzer and post right. Buzzer. They record it 4 or 5 or 6 times to get it correct,
Right.
but they do the
Right.
whole
And that's
25
professional.
minute thing
Right.
5 or 6 times, which is how many hours? How much
Yeah.
time do you have? I don't have that kind of time.
No,
I do
I
this full
agree.
time.
Yeah,
So
the post edit is insane.
so I just recorded Surviving Mars
Yes.
over the course of the weekend.
You got some nice highlights out of that too.
And yes, the when I realized what I had built in Surviving Mars was
You're like,
definitely
whoa,
uh,
whoa.
turn the maturity filter on, please. Real quick, and high, and like take the VOD down, right? No,
Right.
it's not that bad. It
It's
happens
not that
totally
bad
by
at all. It's
accident.
hilarious. Yes.
So embarrassed. But during my recording, I've only gotten 3 episodes done. I've recorded maybe about 10 episodes worth.
Mm-hmm.
I am envious with somebody that could sit down an entire day, knock out an entire series. Oh my goodness. But filler words.
Yeah.
Do you know how many filler words I cut out?
I have no idea. You got to tell me how often. Like, I just used like. You've got to tell me how often that happens to you and how conscious you are of it. Obviously, you know, you and I have been talking about this for over a year. Filler words specifically.
I've discovered that
it's something I'm very hyper conscious of.
Yeah, I'm so conscious of it that when I record, I have gaps where I'm not actually speaking.
Which is okay for editing, right? That
Which
gives
is
you that nice
perfect
little
for editing.
key mark.
But what about live stream?
Right.
If you have a chat that's not active.
I find that the filler words happen a lot more when say the caster or the host is engaged, and maybe it's nerves, maybe it's a little bit not knowing what to say next. I find it comes from a place of not comfortable. I think maybe because if you're very confident in the subject and the conversation that you're having, those filler words tend to drop out. That might be something that I'm just noticing.
Yeah, maybe.
Would you agree?
Well, so being on the front page of Twitch has certainly taught me a few things.
Right. Okay. There. That's being in front of a huge crowd. You have so much going on. Do you find that you're the opposite? That you
well, now we've engaged more filler words because I just while I was thinking,
because
right?
it's another topic that you didn't think we were going to talk about.
Right.
Is
We
like
kind of switched. Right.
Right.
So back to the point of this. It's conversations to discover better practices of streaming. So we're talking about filler words. We'll throw up stuff like, what the heck does it mean here on the screen on the secondary panel? But we'll also throw up stuff. There might be stuff, or it might be naked behind us at the moment. But
Mm-hmm.
The whole idea is that there is a conversation, and it's not necessarily a scripted, casual conversation. It's more about discovery of ideas through topic and conversation. So I encourage anybody who's watching or listening to this podcast to get to the YouTube channel, drop a comment, or find us on Twitch, which all that stuff is going to be linked below. But back to the conversation, being on front page, chat would always fly.
Absolutely. And you had to take steps in order to slow that down, make sure mods were in full force, all that jazz.
Well, not necessarily like negative chat, that, but just like
Right. Just to manage.
questions.
Right.
There were times where I completely ignored chat for 5 minutes because the conversation was moving. We're not talking like League of Legends tournament, LCS chat flying, or Twitch. What is it? Twitch Weekly on Fridays on Twitch,
Yes.
where chat's just flying. But it forced me to really consider every word carefully. But if you're
Now,
if your chat,
why did you think of every word carefully? Because
I wanted
that
to catch all the questions I actually caught
okay.
and like answer it in one line.
How were you able to do that? How
I
like
wasn't.
you weren't. Okay. Like
I don't
being
think
on
I
the front
was.
page quite a few times now, I would imagine you're a bit of a veteran. You do know that it's a okay, take a pause in a moment before answering that or before addressing that. Like you slow right down.
I've slowed it down. Like my first time on front page was
It's
crazy
really good.
because I didn't know what to expect. There's a ton of
Yeah.
people. It was not my highest uh, concurrent number in all of my front page experience, but it was definitely an experience to have, and
Hmm.
I definitely do not recommend it for the faint of heart.
I can
As
imagine.
like you said, sometimes when you have a lot of active chat, I think there's a point that somebody becomes nervous, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
And they start to stumble on everything that they say.
For sure, because you're not too sure how you should be addressing things all of a sudden. You're not prepared for um, that you have a comfort and a certain, especially if you've been streaming for as long as we have, you have a certain comfort with your community and your culture. And once you get thrust into that kind of attention, all of a sudden it changes. You have different viewers and chatters and different questions that you're not necessarily prepared for.
How long
So
have you been
yeah,
streaming?
3 years.
So in 3 years,
3. Yep.
let's see, it'll be 2 years July.
2 years this July. Holy cow. Okay.
Worked really hard.
Yes. Yeah. One of the hardest working girls on Twitch.
Work. So there was 2 filler words. Did that
Which
destroy the
ones?
conversation? And
Not at
so
all.
just went boom.
No. No.
So
See,
why is it
that's where I say like
acceptable for this and not acceptable for other things?
let's do a little conversation test here. So like if I were to like tell you like
How many
my
freaking
experience
filler words did you just use?
like I've been on Twitch for like 3 years and like
I can't take it anymore.
right. This is and that's where the whole object or the whole conversation turns into that's what you're focusing on. And I would love to disseminate why it is that word that
Was
that
it
totally
like, or was it so and but?
I think it was like, but that's something I'm super sensitive to right now, and that's something that I notice. So it may be a filler word for somebody else, may be something totally different. But if you watch a caster or you watch a conversation or a speech that is live, and the person who is delivering that conversation or that speech uses the word like a lot, you'll see what I mean. I wish we had, well, that's the best example I could have I could give right now. But it totally derails the conversation. It takes away from the focus of or the topic of your conversation. And I think we should be a little bit more super aware of using those types of words. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ezilii? Tell me what like
Well,
does to you. I know that you have a lot more filler words that you're not a big fan of, but
I had to stop you. I can't I
you're
can't
like,
take
no,
this.
no.
I'm already
Yes,
tuned out. Yeah, I'm
yes,
shut down.
right. And you probably didn't hear a word I said in that whole or
I
you
shut
didn't get the
down. You
point.
just said something. I didn't even listen. I'm just sitting here
Exactly.
going, "What's going?" I'm just like waiting.
Yeah, yeah.
So it kind of it it makes me anxious.
It makes me anxious as well. And why is that? What is it about, say, that word or very persistent filler words that are used in a conversation that destroy the content?
I think it's because I'm waiting for them to get to the point.
Right. Right. So it feels like it's something that's never going to end. There is no point to it.
Right. It's
It'll
like a really slow day at work.
right.
Right? So like I would assume most of us out in the world has had a job where your day at work was really slow.
Mhm.
I have, and I would
Many.
sit there going, "Are we done yet? Are we done yet? Are we done yet? Can I go home? I
Right.
got stuff to do. Can I go home? I got to work on the stream. Can I go home?" Like there's no point in me being at work if there's no work to do, right?
I agree.
So I
I
made
agree.
my job. Like now I have so much work to do. I'm never bored. I'm
Yeah.
excited every day. Oh, I get to
Yeah.
do something awesome. Like today I woke up, I was like, stream theory.
Same. I couldn't even sleep last night. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta get up early. I gotta do this. Gotta clean my
Uh,
office for Ezilii.
I watch, and I'm not showing your
And then you're
office.
not showing the office. It's okay. It feels good though. It's nice to be in a clean space. So
I ran the robot vacuum today. That's good. I cleaned the house today.
I think we need to get one of those. I think they're fabulous, to be
They're
honest.
definitely very handy.
Yeah, especially if you have pets.
Yes,
I would
well, the two
imagine.
cats.
Right.
But so when somebody uses filler words, I am often shut down pretty quick because I'm waiting for that point to come. And now I don't know what I'm even expecting as a point.
Exactly.
It's like terrible dialogue in a movie.
Yes.
So I just use the phrase "it's like" to go from one thought to another. Is that technically a
Right.
filler word or not?
No, because you're comparing it to something. It would be different if I were to say like and then describe something. Then to everything is like as if see, I don't I would I'm trying my hardest
To not
to
use it?
figure out no, I'm trying to use it, but trying to use it in the way that it gets used a lot, which hmm. So like here and like there. Yeah, I think using it sparingly is good, but using it at the end or beginning of every sentence because you're afraid of pauses or that little silent moment is
Like I live
yeah.
over there in the valley. Like I
You
went
don't
to
have to say
school.
that. Exactly. Like I went to school. You don't need like there. That is it's another word that doesn't need to be in that sentence.
So the definition of
There's more
filler
important
word
words. Yep.
is a word to fill in a gap where you're thinking.
Right. Right. So let yourself think.
Take a moment of silence and process your thoughts.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think you were in theater as well, weren't you, Azili?
No, but Apple taught me how to not use filler words.
Okay. And oh, so if they taught you not to use filler words, what kind of information did you get from them? And why? Why did they think that was important?
So my specific role at Apple was to teach people, right?
Right.
So, and I get crumbly bits, so I'm messing with my hair. At Apple, my
So they
whole
obviously
job
thought it
was
was
teaching.
important. Yes. And to
So
keep
not
your
everybody got
student
it,
engaged.
right? So not everybody got this training.
Right.
They took creatives, right? The educators in stores, and they
Right.
sent us. So the rule was basically if you had been a creative for 2 or more years, you were going to go back and get retrained.
Yes.
And we went back, we got retrained. It was 3 days, and it was all about filler words and all about teaching more than one person simultaneously and fulfilling the
Right.
needs of an entire group as opposed to an individual, which is great and handy because you know what that lended to? What do I do now?
Exactly. Exactly.
So it was very handy and incredible, and I had never even given it one thought that filler
Before
words
that,
was a thing. Like I
right?
knew there's that word again.
You
I
knew.
knew that filler
Yeah.
words were a thing because, most of us have speech or some like writing class in there's that filler word. See, look at this.
Which one? I
I
see.
used like a couple. I
Did you?
specifically used
Okay.
like twice.
Okay.
Consciously used it
But
twice.
it would be describing the next, it would be akin to, it would be similar to, it would be like this.
The
So
point
that's
is,
different. The
most
point
of us in
is,
the States have some sort of speech or a similar type of class
right,
at a high school level, which would
right.
be grades
10 to 12, I'm sure.
9 through 12. Yeah,
Okay.
freshman is 9.
Right.
In Europe, I think this isn't secondary, but it's still the same level. This is between elementary, so young kid, and going to uni
Right.
in relation to the rest of the world. But I never had to take that class because it was an elective. I was not forced to take speech.
Okay.
I was also not forced to take a secondary language because it was an elective. So I didn't take any of that stuff. It I didn't like high school. I just wanted to get out.
Neither did
They
I.
would send me to art studio and be like, just go make something and shut up and you'll pass. Like, oh, okay.
Right.
So Apple sends me to this training, and it's 3 days. It's really intensive, and effectively every time you say a filler word,
Hmm.
you get buzzed. Bzz.
Love it. Let's do that.
So I took
Let's do that.
do a command in everybody's Twitch chat, buzz.
Yeah. Bzz.
Bzz. We can't do that on recorded content, but we could always
Yeah,
say, hey, you used 452 filler words in your 3-minute video.
it's true. And what are we considering? Did we cover that point? What filler words are? Like my biggest. I did it again. My biggest culprit is like, obviously. What else would it be? It would be
Well, it's
were those
technically so the
repeated
true
sounds?
definition is the technical definition is it's a word commonly used to fill a gap in which you're thinking.
Okay. So it would be mm, and like.
Right. The same like is a word. It's not on most official lists of what a filler word is,
Interesting. Interesting.
but it's something that you could use as a word where you would normally just be thinking.
Right. And saying
Right.
Okay.
So we're at 25 minutes now
Cool.
of a conversation on filler words where we used a crap ton of filler words. I apologize if you are repulsed by this, but the whole idea of this conversation was to talk and use filler words to
So you can
discover
identify it.
and help. You know what we
Hmm.
didn't do? We didn't write an outro.
We didn't.
Damn it.
And also, I guess the point of this conversation here is maybe to be a little bit more conscious of it, because if you want to keep your audience engaged, and again, my opinion, maybe Ezilii's opinion as well, you want to keep your audience engaged. You want to come across confident in the topic that you're speaking. Using filler words really does, for lack of a better word, it destroys your point, and it doesn't come across as confident. Um,
Right.
and it would be
So
good to.
there's Well, is that really a filler word?
So no, so is
That
not.
was more like a segue, right?
Segue. It's totally a segue. Yes.
Confidence is the point that you had brought up, and with confidence, people buy things with people that have confidence, which is why con
Absolutely.
artists are a thing, right? I'm not saying that we should all be a con artist, but
Right?
they exude an extremely large amount of confidence
Absolutely.
where people
Yeah.
go,
You're almost
"Oh, they must
hypnotized or
really," right.
you're
You
engaged.
get so enamored, like, wow, they're really confident in what
Knowledgeable.
they're doing and what they're selling me. I'm going to give them
Absolutely.
money. I'm
Absolutely.
going to buy into this. So
Yeah.
that is how that works. So if you're confident when you make your content, maybe there's going to be a little bit more charisma. Maybe it's going to drive a little bit more interactivity. Maybe it's going to grow your community, your channel, whatever you're trying to grow,
Absolutely.
your Twitter.
Yeah. Your public appearances, especially being casters, and Azila, you know this. You've been to panels where you've had to sit in and have a discussion with a room full of people. Um, when you're in the spotlight and a question is asked to you, you're delivering it with confidence. So it isn't necessarily only on Twitch or only on YouTube. These are for public appearances as well, just in life in general. And I
Yeah,
think if you actually put side by side two people talking about the same point, one using filler words and the other delivering very confidently without the overuse of filler words. I'm not going to say that you can take them out 100% from your conversation, but you're going to notice a difference, and you'll definitely be more attracted to listening to, or maybe returning to hear the speaker speak again who doesn't use as many filler words.
I would agree. As
And
somebody
you
who
get the
doesn't
point.
watch the viewer count, doing it
Right.
live is very different.
Absolutely.
Every eyeball is times, 2, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
instead of having where it says 100 eyes are looking at you on Twitch, which would be 50 people, if there's 100 eyes, that's 200 eyes. So I'm doing the math in my head and it kind of freaks me out sometimes.
Does it really?
Yeah, it's like there's 200
You don't
eyes
show
looking at
it.
me.
You don't show it. Good job.
But it's like it's something that's in the back of your head, or at least in the back of
Right.
my head. But the idea is confidence. So
Big time.
eliminating filler words from your speech when you
Yeah.
record and when you're live can help elevate your confidence level.
100%. Yes.
There's also the saying, fake it until you make it. I think that plays in role of this, because if you're not confident, you're going to become confident because you've made one change to make your content better by
Yes.
eliminating filler words,
Yes.
and you're just going to get more confidence because you're going to see an improvement.
Yeah, and see, and like you said, it's like eliminating altogether filler words is going to be sometimes impossible, depending if you're live for 5 hours, which I think, Azili, what's a typical cast for you? 5 to 6 hours, right?
I've been trying, so my target is usually between
Or it's
about
even more
six
than that.
hours
About six
is what I
hours,
would like to always hit.
right?
Sometimes I go a little shorter because I've got things to do. Today, I'm not live today. Everybody's like, why aren't you live? Well,
Because she's mine. Because she's mine.
the only way this is going to get done is if we do it and I do it
Absolutely.
during the day and not try to do it at night when I'm
Yeah.
already done for the day, because I already
And you
streamed for
shut
9 hours
off.
by accident.
Yes. I've done it. Not the 9 hours. Not the 9 hours. I haven't quite got up to that longevity yet. But
Well, it's also probably not the best thing to do. I I have a few theories on what one
this
should
is a
do
good place to talk about
to
it.
I know, right? Stream theory. It's a great platform and great podcast to talk about some theories, which we'll save that one theory for later. I try to strive for 6 hours or more. If I hit 9 hours, that would be 8 to 5 my time.
8 to 5. Okay.
8 a.m. to
Okay.
5 p.m.
Yeah.
My husband
That's
leaves
a
for
full-time
work
job.
at 7:45
Yep.
and leaves the office at 5.
To be home for 6-ish, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I start at 8, and if I go 9 hours, it's usually about 5 o'clock, unless I like sometimes I could fudge it where it's 7:45. I'm on the starting soon screen, so if you do the uptime, obviously it's longer than 9 hours. But the idea is that I'm gonna get a phone call because we always talk on the phone as he commutes back, hands free.
It's important. That's
I'm just
another
listening.
conversation maybe that we should have. Yep.
You know, he's not holding it. It's just we're having a chat like, when do you want me to start dinner? Like, where are you? Should I start
Yeah.
XYZ? Should I turn on the oven? What do you want? Right.
Yep. Yep.
Conversations that would normally have when somebody would get home from work and then dinner would be an hour after that. Instead, it's like, boom, because he plays video games, right?
Yep.
He
Yep.
plays video games. He's got to have that downtime. Just because I play video games all day doesn't mean I can't do anything, like make dinner or do some things around the house.
Yeah. Get your art therapy in.
But
Get your art therapy in.
I could speed it up and get dinner ready, or at least mostly ready, because he actually does 99.9% of the cooking. I just get things
Really?
started.
Nice.
Oven's on, water's boiling, chop something up. Okay, here, you can cook it.
That's fabulous. What do I talk about? Life actually, he cooks quite a bit, so I'm okay with that.
Right. But the idea is that I try to get done at 6 hours as opposed to go to 9.
To 9 hours. Okay. So that you can have that. All right, let's have some downtime before it gets, yeah. I think also being a full-time Twitch streamer or a full-time streamer or in this industry at all, and having a really healthy relationship is a good conversation to have at one point too.
Yes.
Yeah.
More to come.
I'm sure a lot of people struggle with that.
So, we are at the end. We're at the end. How does it feel to have the first one done?
I feel great. That one's in, is it in the can? Is that how we describe it in the movie business?
Well, it's
That
at least
one's in the can.
recorded. It's at least recorded, right? It's recorded. Now it's got to be, well, I guess in the can, because you would put the film in the can and then you would send it off to the editor. So this one is in the can. My name is Ezilii, full-time content creator and Twitch partner.
And I am Carize, and I'm a affiliate streamer and also co-founder of Girl Streamers.
And this is Stream Theory. Today we talked about filler words, how to use them, how not to use them, why would we ever do that anyway in the first place. Until next time, you guys are badass and amazing. See you guys next time.
See you later.